When I first reconnected with Ryan, my old friend, I never imagined the truth would come back to haunt me. It started innocently, a message on social media, a few polite exchanges about how life had changed since college. My husband, Daniel, noticed me smiling at my phone one night and asked who it was. I said, "Just an old friend." That small lie planted the first seed of disaster. At first, it was harmless. Ryan and I talked occasionally, sharing stories about our jobs, our families, and random memories from the past. But deep down, I knew I was hiding something important. Ryan wasn't just an old friend. He was my ex-boyfriend, someone I had once loved deeply. Our breakup had been painful, and though I had moved on, there was still an emotional trace left behind, a ghost of what once was. As the weeks turned into months, Daniel began noticing how distracted I had become. He would talk about his work or our baby's upcoming arrival, and I would nod without really listening. My phone would buzz, and my eyes would immediately go to it. He never accused me directly, but I could feel his growing suspicion. His silence spoke louder than words. Things started unraveling one afternoon when Daniel came home early from work. I was sitting on the couch, phone in hand, texting Ryan about something trivial. I didn't hear the door open until Daniel's voice broke through. "Who's Ryan?" My blood froze. I stammered. "He's just an old friend from college." He stared at me for a long moment, then said quietly, "Old friend or something more?" That night, we argued. I confessed that Ryan and I had dated years ago but insisted that there was nothing romantic between us now. Daniel's expression was unreadable. He didn't yell, he simply nodded and said, "I see." His calmness frightened me more than any anger could have. The next few days, he barely spoke to me. I thought time would heal it, but something in his eyes had changed. 2 weeks later, Daniel became strangely distant yet overly polite. He started spending long hours outside, claiming he was working on something for the house. I asked what he was doing, but he would smile and say, "You'll see soon." His tone felt wrong, too controlled, too deliberate. I began to feel uneasy. Then one evening, I saw a message pop up on his phone while he was in the shower. It was from someone named Tom. "Everything's ready. Just say when." My heart raced. I didn't know who Tom was, but the message sounded serious. I asked Daniel about it, but he brushed it off with a tight smile. "Just a surprise," he said. Days passed, and Daniel's behavior became more unpredictable. He cleaned the garage, checked our finances, and made quiet phone calls late at night. One morning, I noticed he'd packed a small suitcase and placed it near the door. When I asked about it, he said, "It's for later. Don't worry about it." My hands trembled as I tried to act calm. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I called Ryan and told him everything. How Daniel knew, how he was acting strange, how I feared he was planning something. Ryan told me to stay calm and offered to talk to Daniel himself, but I refused. I didn't want things to get worse. That night, Daniel came home with an eerie calm. He asked me to sit down. He began by saying he had been thinking a lot about our marriage. "You lied to me," he said softly, "but I also realized something. I wasn't really listening to you either. You've been unhappy, haven't you?" His words caught me off guard. Before I could respond, he placed an envelope on the table. "This is for you," he said. Inside was a ticket to a nearby cabin and a note, "Take time to think. I'll be here when you're ready to be honest. With me and with yourself." Tears filled my eyes. For weeks, I had feared revenge, some cruel act to punish me. But instead, Daniel's revenge was emotional. He made me face what I had done. The deception, the distance, the lack of trust. His calm decision to step back hurt far more than any anger could have. I went to the cabin the next day, as he'd asked. Alone with my thoughts, I realized that my lie wasn't just about hiding an ex. It was about hiding part of myself. My fear of losing control, my insecurity about our relationship, and my weakness in confronting the truth. I wrote Daniel a letter that night, apologizing not only for lying but for underestimating him. When I returned home a week later, Daniel was waiting. He didn't smile, but his eyes were gentler. We talked for hours, about trust, honesty, and how love cannot survive without both. It wasn't an easy conversation, but it was real. Now, as I stand in our nursery, 8 months pregnant, I know the road ahead won't be perfect. But we've started rebuilding. Slowly, painfully, but truthfully. I still regret my lie, but I've learned that sometimes, the real revenge isn't in hurting someone back. It's in showing them what truth feels like after deception, and realizing it's something worth never losing again.